Good evening. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you've had a decent weekend. Lots of craziness going on, especially involving banks. We're going to kind of talk a little bit about it. The reason I say that is because I'm always up front when there's something that I know very little about. And when it comes to the financial markets and all of that good stuff, I am not the guy. I am clearly not the guy. But what I do know is banks collapsing is not a good thing. And from what I can see, looking out across not just what's happening here in the United States, but as well as overseas, some concerning things, some concerning trends that are starting to rapidly develop. And, it starts with bank collapse. And so I'm sure you all know by now about the Silicon Valley Bank collapse. There's been, since that, hang on. I can't remember names. A lot of people were starting to make some content about it earlier. Rightfully so, because this is big stuff. This is stuff that you certainly want to keep an eye on. It's, I can't tell you. Okay, Signature Bank. Signature Bank was another one. Now, Dabu says this is the third bank, so that Signature is the third bank. So we'll see. I don't play in the money market. I don't have that kind of liquid assets, if you will. I can look at the numbers, and but I'm so poor I can't even subscribe to Market Watch. So. Anyway, it looks like it's a bad deal. It really looks like it's a bad situation. As I was saying earlier, it actually looks like this is going to go out beyond U.S. borders. And there's going to be apparently pain felt, I guess, in the EU and the UK as well. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's even a compounding issue that I want to point out. One of the customers, if you will, of Silicon Valley Bank was Etsy. And I'm sure I'm not saying anything you haven't already heard. But potentially, and I can't say for sure, but potentially, you have a whole lot of sellers that make their living on Etsy right now that don't know when they're going to get their funds. They don't know when they can move forward with their business. All I can do is hope that enough of them have enough built up that they can keep continuing business through other channels, other routes, until this can get squared away, if it gets squared away. Again, I don't even play a financial expert on YouTube. I don't know much about this stuff. I don't know when, say, for instance, the government goes in and they do this, they do that, the other thing. For instance, if that would happen, I don't know if that means that all of those people that are Etsy, sellers, if they're all going to get squared away, or if that's just a maybe, or are they just going to get part of it. How's this shake out? Because my dad taught me a long time ago, you can't squeeze blood from a turnip. And I don't understand how you're going to replace money without money. And I know that's not really what's happening. I know who the ones are that gets put with the burden. It's always going to be us. That's one thing. See, the bank, think of it like a crooked casino, because pretty much it is. And so basically, it's a casino. Absolutely gambles with your money, do they not? We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that. So it's a casino, except it's a crooked one. On many accounts. On many accounts. This is concerning because of the ripple effects that it could have. Now, how serious are we in the muck right this second? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I did watch Economic Ninja earlier. I highly recommend you check him out. I'm sure you all know who that is. If not, I highly recommend you check out the Economic Ninja. I think he does an incredible job. He's absolutely entertaining as well. I don't know if this is the boogeyman of the week or if this is the unfolding of what's going to be a nightmare. I honestly don't know. Because again, I don't know this stuff on a level that I feel confident enough to even remotely guess on a scale of, how bad of a situation this is. Now, I know right now it's not the end of the world as it stands right this second. No. But how is this going to bleed out? That's what I'm concerned with. Like I said, EU, UK, if I believe it is, have been talking about, I guess there's some financial institutions over there that are going to be hurt by this. I can't remember if that's in a headline I shared or if I caught that somewhere else, but I know that was something that I ran into today. I've got, let's see, 6 tabs open. And got headlines. Doesn't seem like there's a horribly lot of headlines to cover for the last few days. But, I'd rather not have a ton than, Anyway, I don't know. My answer's still the same. What I've been telling you guys for years. Keep getting ready. Keep getting ready. Something big is inevitable. There's just no way to ignore that fact. What is it? I don't know. I don't know what's going to hit first. I don't know what's going to hit hardest. I have no idea. And I'm not one of those people out there that's going to sit there and say, well, this is going to happen on this date. Because I don't know. Neither do the people that are trying to claim that they do. I think we just better be ready, because I do think the time is upon us, regardless of whether or not we can pinpoint exactly when and what that is. Being ready is just your hedge against that, no matter what it is. And that's what I think. I think preparedness is the true insurance policy. It really, truly is. Because even when everything else fails, look at the people with these banks, okay? And again, I don't want to act like I even pretend to know how this stuff shakes out. But I do know that FDIC only insures so much of that money. So, in other words, if you have more than that in that bank, you're not, as far as I understand, guaranteed to get a penny over that amount that it is insured for, which I think is like $250,000. So if you had like $3 million in the bank, okay, and this happened to your bank, if I understand it correctly, the only thing they guarantee you're going to get out of that is $250,000. $250,000 out of $3 million. Now that's one hell of a haircut. Better put in some dye and gave you some streaks with that. I don't know what it is we're staring down the barrel of. I really don't. Because I don't understand that whole system. And to be honest, from what I have seen of it, it's a bunch of crap to begin with. They pretty much make everything up, and pretty much they'll put us wherever they want us to be, whenever they want us to be there. And in my opinion, that is the truth about the financial market. Because how can you be in debt as much as our nation is in debt and still be pretending that you're accomplishing something economically? I mean, damn. I don't know what it is that's going to blindside us first. And I say that, and I chose those words specifically because I really honestly feel no matter what it is, we're heading for a blindside. I feel that even us looking at, for instance, this bank situation right now and trying to figure out where we stand, we could get blindsided by this so damn hard. We could get up tomorrow morning, there may not be banks open. Now, I'm not trying to fearmonger or anything like that, but I will tell you this. I will pass this on. I was speaking to my brother earlier, and he said he was trying to withdraw money. And I believe he said something to the effect of, let me look. I don't want to misstate what he did say. Dreaming of Yes, I go to that song every time. I don't know why. It's horrible. Horrible. Here we go. Went out today to get cash from ATM. 5 different banks. I could only get $200, and one of the banks, U.S. Bank, gave a $100 bill. So take that for what it's worth. I don't know. Tomorrow could be a very, very, very ugly, dark day. But I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to be. I don't, again, know how bad of a situation is beginning to unfold here. Trying to be careful because there's so much overreaction on things in the news. I mean, it's just been unbelievable lately, which I'm kind of trying to push against that because of my fears that I've previously stated, the whole boy that cried wolf thing. That so many of these channels are going to get everybody so burnt out on crying wolf that when it really does happen, so many people are going to be desensitized to it or have totally wrote all of it off anyway because of all the nonsense. I'll reiterate, the answer is still the same for us. Still the same. It doesn't change, right? Just like that good book doesn't change. Neither does the answer for us. And in fact, that answer is found in that good book. AKA user manual for people. I like when Bear calls it that. That is like the perfect name for it. I don't know. I guess I'll go over the tabs here. I know I haven't spoke for real long. I don't really have a whole lot to go over. No really updates as far as anything as far as we're concerned. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting to receive the things that I can't talk about. So still waiting on that. It should probably be within a week or so. And of course I can't talk about it. Not now. Now let me be fair. Let me not just be a complete tease, right? Otherwise, you guys be begging me to get out the poll, and that's just nah. Anyway, I don't want to be that much of a tease. But anyway, I will say this. After I do what it is I'm not allowed to tell you about, I can tell you some stuff. I don't know how much I'll be able to tell you. But I'll just say that the item will be released on the open market. And so, in other words, I may not be able to discuss a whole lot about my end of it, but I could discuss what it is at that time. So I know I'm being vague. You guys know I have to be vague on it. I don't want to step on anybody's feet, overstep my bounds or anything else. It's an honor and a privilege that this company entrusts me to do this for them. So I appreciate it. I don't want to abuse it. It is fun though, and it's cool. It is just absolutely cool. So anyway, that's about the only thing I got on updates. Let me look over. Let's see. Oh. Okay. And for those that watch later, like when the chat's not available, and I'm gonna say your name wrong. I'm gonna say Dia, and it's probably wrong. Anyway, was stating that no sense trying to get anything online because every time you order something online, it takes a month to get there. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It depends on what it is. Say to get a generator in case power goes out or in case of banks. Yeah, he was good tonight. I really enjoy watching him. That whole topic, financial stuff, bores the hell out of me. I've never really been interested in it. And I commend and applaud him for making it entertaining on a level that not can I just make it through it, but I actually look forward to watching him. And the whole cardboard box notes thing, I was sold on that the very first time I seen it. And anyway, I love his content. Today he's been off the charts today, but and I get it. I get where he's at. I understand, his whole premise, where he comes from, and the whole thing. I tell you what, he's a trip. He is a trip. So, but I get it, and he's in a position right now to where he's waiting to kill it. He's ready to kill it, right? He learned from the last time. And so he positioned himself this time to be able to take advantage of it when it happened again. And we're there. And that's awesome. And I am happy as hell. I wished I would have caught that. And even if I would have, it doesn't mean that I would have made the right moves to be able to fulfill it, So he's doing an incredible job. I think it's awesome. But, doing the old walking, huh, Leo? Yeah, my excuse for that is the heart. You can laugh at me as hard as you want. By the way, folks, I'm being a troll. I need to say that before I make this insane statement, this insane excuse. The heart only has so many beats in it. So that's why I don't exercise, because I don't want to run out of heartbeats early. Okay. Do not take medical advice from me. I am not a doctor. I am a complete moron. Anyway. Oh, Blue even huffed me, so okay. BC, I did see you there. I'm trying to wind down the clownage here. So you're gonna go clear out your bank account and well, $10. Well, by the time you pay for the gas, you're probably gonna need. You got your checkbook, right? Because the drive to get the money in back is gonna probably be more than $10. So it's insane. I mean, it is truly insane what's going on. I don't know. I'm hesitant at the same time anxious to see what happens tomorrow. I mean, I don't myself have anything more to fear than the next person, meaning I don't have money tied up in anything. I don't have money. So I'm not going to lose. I mean, and I say that. Please understand what I'm saying when I say that. I am not going to lose financially in the immediate nonsense that goes on. But believe me, we're all going to pay. We're all gonna suffer as a result. So I don't want to make it seem like it's not going to affect anybody that's not involved in the markets and stuff, or involved in these particular banks or anything, because I am concerned about this. I don't want to raise alarm because I'm so afraid. I'm so afraid of this being a boogeyman of the week, and I don't have enough knowledge of the topic to judge it, to put it on a scale. I have no idea. All I can do is take things like little keynotes, like this is the first major bank collapse or whatever, or the biggest one or whatever since 2008 or whatever, or 2006. I don't remember exactly what the quote was, but it was something along those lines. So that's telling me that it's incrementally getting worse. And I figured so, because back during the whole 2008 debacle, they didn't fix anything. They kind of half-ass patched it. And I mean half-ass patched it. Again, not a financial guy. I can't explain to you what that means, but I heard it enough times from people that I trust that I'm pretty sure they just patched it up and kicked the can down the road. Now we got to pay the piper for not only that can, but a whole hell of a lot of other cans that's been kicked down the road. Now that I'm confident in saying. Anywho, I guess I could hop on to the articles here. Go over the tabs, do the headlines from the last few days, and I don't know. Do I feel up to running around the house screaming the end is nigh? Nah, maybe tomorrow night. Maybe tomorrow night. Oh, looks like a little bit of rain or mist. We call it noping around here because Blue sees it. It's nope. I'm not going out there. You kidding me? Mud and stuff. Anyway, let's do some news. U.S. mulls ways to secure bank deposits after SVB collapse, says Bloomberg. I'm just going to read at least part of the article because, again, I don't know this stuff, so I'll just do it verbatim if I use that word correctly. I don't even English well, so cut me some slack. U.S. regulators are discussing a mechanism which would help avoid a repeat of the Silicon Valley Bank insolvency at other lenders, Bloomberg reported on Saturday, citing sources close to the discussions. According to the report, the U.S. Federal Reserve and the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation could create a fund that would allow regulators to backstop more deposits at banks that are facing problems. A number of lenders focused on the venture capital and startup communities have already seen their stocks plunge following the news of SVB's collapse, sparking fears about their financial health. Regulators see the mechanism as contingency planning to avoid panic and have reportedly already discussed the plan with banking executives. No further details have been discussed and no official comment regarding the regulation has been made. SVB, a major lender focused on tech and startups, which previously ranked in the top 20 U.S. banks, imploded on Friday after what analysts call a classic case of bank run. Worried about the state of the bank, depositors rushed to withdraw funds, which saw SVB shares crash and forced the FDIC to shut the lender down. Regulators have taken control of SVB's deposits and transferred the assets to a newly created entity, the Deposit Insurance Bank of Santa Clara. The bank's offices are set to reopen on Monday to allow insured depositors to withdraw their money. However, some 89% of SVB's $175.4 billion in deposits were not insured, according to the FDIC, meaning there is uncertainty over when the bulk of customers could see their money. The FDIC is reportedly looking for another bank to merge with SVB to safeguard unsecured deposits. The agency is also said to have interviewed officials from a number of small and mid-sized U.S. lenders about their financial health, apparently to ensure no repeats of the SVB implosion. So, insane, yo. Coffee. Because even during bank collapse, there must be coffee. I don't care if you tell me the plane's out of fuel. Just don't tell me that it's out of coffee. Let's see. Billionaire warns of SVB collapse aftermath. Let's see. Now, this isn't the one that was talking about. I don't think so. Hang on. Billionaire U.S. investor and hedge fund manager Bill Ackman on Saturday warned the U.S. of dire consequences facing its banking sector and the broader economy following an implosion of Silicon Valley Bank, a major U.S. lender focused on tech and startups. Ackman wrote on his Twitter account that U.S. authorities should not have allowed SVB to collapse without protecting all depositors. Official figures showed that only 11% of SVB's $175.4 billion in deposits were insured at the time of the bank's failure. According to the investor, with the lender's failure, the world has woken up to what an uninsured deposit is. An uninsured, illiquid claim on a failed bank. That means when the banks reopen on Monday, the giant sucking sound you will hear will be the withdrawal of substantially all uninsured deposits from all but the systematically important banks. The situation will lead to an economic meltdown as the withdrawals will drain liquidity from community, regional, and other banks and begin the destruction of these important institutions, Ackman says, adding that thousands of the fastest-growing, most innovative venture-backed companies in the U.S. will begin to fail to make payroll next week. Now, if that's true, holy cow. According to the investor, U.S. authorities should either find a buyer for SVB before the banks open on Monday, a prospect he believes to be unlikely, or to guarantee all of SVB's deposits. Had the government stepped in on Friday to guarantee SVB's deposits in exchange for penny warrants, which would have wiped out the substantial majority of its equity value, this could have been avoided and SVB's 40-year franchise value could have been preserved and transferred to a new owner in exchange for an equity injection. This approach would have minimized the risk of any government losses and created the potential for substantial profits from the rescue, he writes. SVB collapsed last Friday after its shares plunged amid a massive bank run. Well, this just goes into the history, which we've already talked about. Let me go ahead and say this, though. It says SVB's senior management made a basic mistake. They invested short-term deposits in longer-term fixed-rate assets. Thereafter, short-term rates went up and a bank run ensued. Senior management screwed up, and they should lose their jobs, Ackman said. He added, however, that U.S. authorities were also at fault for the bank's failure, as their job is to monitor the banking system for risk, and SVB should have been high on their watch list with more than $200 billion of assets and $170 billion of deposits from business borrowers in effectively the same industry. So, again, I would rather just read that to you because I don't understand half of what I just said. I mean, I get the gist of it, but there's a lot of details, and I think they do it on purpose. I think they make it confusing on purpose because that's the only way they can, hide from the common people what they're really doing. And I think that's the long and the short of the financial market and the voodoo behind it. I call it voodoo because it almost seems like that's how far-fetched they are as to reality versus whatever the hell it is that they do up there. It's almost like there's like auctioneers for Monopoly money. I don't know. To me, again, I'm not the money guy, but and people just at the auction, they just bid on bullshit. It's crazy. Crazy. So anyway, that's what's going on. At least the latest that I can provide for you. Just answer still the same. I don't know. I don't know. It seems there are a lot of people that are concerned about a dark day coming tomorrow. And it goes beyond just the average people that are always worrying about the dark, the ones that are every week we've got a new dark week coming or a new dark day coming or whatever. No, this goes beyond that. That I can say undoubtedly that there's a lot more people concerned about this than are normally in tune with things going on. So anyway, another sip of coffee and we'll continue on. Change gears a little bit. Israel strikes targets in Syria, says media. Israel fired several missiles against neighboring Syria on Sunday morning, the state-run Syrian Arab news agency has claimed. 3 Syrian service members reportedly sustained injuries as a result of the strike, with unspecified material damage inflicted as well. The article quoted an anonymous source as describing Israeli bursts of missiles from the direction of northern Lebanon, targeting some sites in the countryside of the Tartus and Hama provinces. According to SANA, at least some of the incoming rockets were intercepted by Syrian air defenses. Meanwhile, British-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights claimed that 2 pro-Iran fighters were killed and 3 Syrian soldiers were wounded on Sunday morning. The watchdog also alleged a scientific research center was located in one of the targeted areas, as quoted by the news agency AFP. The alleged missile strike comes less than a month after a deadly attack on Damascus in mid-February, which local media claimed was launched from an Israeli-occupied Golan Heights toward the Syrian capital. Let's see, and it just goes into the history of all of that. But that is certainly heating up. I think you're going to continue to see that heating up. Possibly even rapidly, because of everything going on with Iran right now. China warns neighbor against drawing wolves into the house. says here, Chinese Foreign Ministry on Sunday cautioned the Philippines against strengthening its military cooperation with the U.S., saying it will be used to serve Washington's geopolitical agenda to the detriment of Manila's own security. The Chinese embassy in Manila issued its latest warning to the Philippine government on Sunday, citing President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s decision last month to give U.S. troops access to 4 additional military bases in the Southeast Asian country. Such cooperation will put the Philippines against China and tie the country to the chariot of geopolitical strife, seriously jeopardizing Philippine national interest in regional peace and stability, the embassy said. Since Marcos took office last summer, relations with Beijing have been increasingly strained amid a territorial dispute in the South China Sea, where China claims sovereignty. U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris visited the island nation last November, saying the world was grappling with assaults on the rules-based international order. The Chinese embassy urged the Marcos administration to avoid getting sucked into U.S. efforts to maintain a global hegemony. China has repeatedly accused, well, this just goes into the history, and again, of that stuff. So that is going on, and we have been increasingly working with the Philippines, increasing stockpiles and you name it. I think not long ago, I think they went through and did a bunch of base expansions or something, if I'm not mistaken. Not real long ago. It might have been while Trump was in office, though, but I do seem to recall that. Greta Thunberg deletes end of the world tweet. Wow. Even she gets it, though. Really? Right? You got all the people that are predicting the end of the world on YouTube every week. You know what I mean? The boogeyman of the week stuff. And, at least she goes back and deletes it. I mean, it'd be better off if she'd own up to it, but at least she gets rid of it. Anyway, Swedish climate activist Greta Thunberg has deleted a 2018 tweet in which she shared a warning that climate change will wipe out all of humanity unless fossil fuels were abolished by 2023. In the tweet, "How dare you?" Thunberg quoted a top climate scientist as saying that climate change will wipe out all of humanity unless we stop using fossil fuels over the next 5 years. It is unclear when the self-described autistic climate justice activist deleted the tweet, but its removal was first noticed by U.S. conservative pundit Jack Posobiec on Saturday. The website her tweet linked to no longer exists. So, I guess Jack found it, though. Or at least a picture of it. Anyway. It is sad to the level that they have been indoctrinating kids. It is truly, truly sad and disturbing. Sad and disturbing at how much they fearmonger the kids, how much the kids have to worry in today's society. Even when I was a kid, sure, there were worries. But the worries and the problems and the things that we thought about back then were far different than what's in society today. And I can't imagine the long-term effects of the propaganda campaigns, of the different agenda campaigns. Man, I sit and look at the aftermath of the everybody gets a trophy notion, and it's horrid. Can you imagine what the future holds, it's concerning. It's extremely concerning. Let's see. And this is the last tab I have open. Sorry for the poor visual. Yeah. We'll see if I can get through this. Hollywood stars push Biden off a cliff. Oh, wait. Sorry. I mixed up wishful thinking with reading the headlines to you. Let me re-say that. Hollywood stars push for Biden to drop Harris. Well, I mean, it's not nearly as good as pushing him off a cliff, but we'll take it. A group of actors and other Hollywood political donors has reportedly argued that President Joe Biden needs to jettison Kamala Harris as his vice president. Now, when they say that, they mean that. They don't mean that he needs to give her a pink slip or anything like that. No. They mean that they need to tie her ass to the pylon of a fighter jet and take her up to about 40,000 feet and drop her ass. Exactly. Jettison. Perfect word. Thank you. Continuing on. Picking a new running mate when he runs for re-election 2024. On a recent Zoom call with former U.S. Senator Barbara Boxer, a California Democrat, Hollywood actors and executives claim that Harris would hurt Biden's chances of winning a second term because given his advanced age, voters would focus more attention than the usual on the unpopular vice president. CNN reported on Sunday. Shut up, phone. Participants in the call included actors Helen Hunt, thank God I got that correctly the first time, Ron Livingston, and Beverly Hills 90210 star Gabriel Clitoris. Sorry. No, I'm not sorry. Carteris. Something like that. I don't know. I don't follow these people. I don't know who they are for the most part. Well, I know who Helen Hunt is. Think I know who Ron Livingston is. I saw a picture. I'd probably know for sure. But I know Helen Hunt, right? Tornado, yo, good movie. Twister, not Tornado, Twister. Can you tell? I am like hip with the pop culture, yo. No, I don't do that crap. I'm just not interested. I don't really care. Anyway. So these schmucks are saying that Schmo shouldn't go. Schmo shouldn't go. Tie her ass to a fighter jet, drop her off over the Rockies. The donors asked Boxer how they could persuade Biden to replace Harris. If that's how you feel, you should let Biden know, the former senator replied. Asking about the conversation, Boxer told CNN, I said it was the president's choice. Nearly 7 in 10 U.S. voters, or 68%, believe Biden, 80, is too old to seek re-election, according to a Yahoo News YouGov poll released earlier this month. He would be 86 at the end of his second term if he were able to serve all 4 years. Hell, if he was able to climb the damn stairs. Anyway, among Democrats, 48% of voters believe Biden would be too old, versus only 34% who disagreed. Given that, the VP would be next in line for the presidency if Biden weren't able to serve his full term. His running mate would attract greater scrutiny. Harris is viewed favorably by only 37%. Why would you put those words together in the same sentence? Compared with Biden's 43%, because that's a lot better. And something about Pocahontas down there. I can't even. Can't even. Can't even. That's my official stance, damn it. I can't even. I refused to say it when it was popular, so now that it's been boomerfied. Anyway. News. News that you can use. No, I'm bullshitting you. You can't use any of this. No, kidding. Hopefully you can at least... What the hell is that over there? Dogs making obscene noises over there. And it's, it's that time of year, if you know what I mean. Heat. That time of year. Anyway. Ignore her. She's just cranky, bitchy. It's, Anyway. We're starting out with Friday's news. What do we feed her? Well, that's a long story. Because it started out with dog food. And then it wound up with little bits of what we were eating. As long as it's nothing that'll really screw her up. We don't let her lick the chili bowls or nothing like that because I don't want to screw her stomach up. But she gets her treats, and I am sick, twisted, demented, and I enjoy the chicken Vienna sausages. And so she eats chicken Vienna sausages with me. She eats bits of tuna fish sandwiches with me. She loves those. Non-chocolate Oreos. She's a trip. She's a trip. Anyway. Let me have a few vapes. I'm not like in a hurry or nothing. I did do a little bit of flying in the sim. Obviously, I put out a video. Man, am I enjoying it. Man, can I not wait to be able to get that VR headset. I will be happier than you can ever imagine. So, soon, coming soon. I just hope that the video card that I just invested in will drive that VR headset good enough. I think it will. It's hard. Flight sim is a hard animal to run, so... Anyway, hey, Leo, you're in there. Wake up. Wake up. Put that down. Wipe off your hand. That's gross, man. Anyway, got a question. What's better performance-wise? And if you don't know, please let me know that you don't know. What's better performance-wise? Would it be an Oculus 2? Or would it be, say, like a Reverb G2? Which one would give better performance given my system? Would the Quest 2 using the link cable or the G2? I know the G2 overall has much better performance over the Quest 2, but my question is which will be easier for my card to give good results with? Anyway, just something I was curious of. So, by the way, howdy, Walter. I got the news starting here on Friday. Trump to publish private letters from foreign leaders. U.S. vows to strengthen nuclear arsenal. Russia-China trade on pace to hit $200 billion this year. Iconic jewelry maker quits Russia. Georgia lost chance for sovereignty, says Moscow. Moscow to expose Nord Stream stonewalling, says official. Georgian MPs reject foreign agents bill. Let's see. EU aiming to ramp up naval patrols after Nord Stream blast, says Financial Times. U.S. looks to seize Russian corporate jet. I mean, why not? Xi Jinping re-elected as Chinese president. I know you're all shocked, you're all surprised by that news, but it was a close call, right? The other guy almost made it away with his head. Anyway, I'm kidding. Ukraine conflict being fueled by empires, says Pope Francis. I really don't know how that whole situation is over there, so I just joke about that stuff. In reality, I'm one of those people that I believe that if you don't live somewhere, you can't necessarily just take others' words for it, you know, especially a government or an education system. Let's see. Ukraine conflict being fueled by empires, says Pope Francis. I think I read that. Warsaw threatens Europe's largest animal, says Belarus. Owners of sanctioned Russian bank to offload stakes, says Financial Times. And you could maybe, I don't know, offload it to some individuals here. Moscow outlined shifting UN attitudes to Ukraine conflict. Speaking of that, why don't they do that? Why don't they take some of this money or whatever from all this crap they're doing against Russia and use it to prop up the individuals that are going to be hurt by this bank collapse? I mean, no, they've got to launder that money for something entirely different. Let's see. Ukraine's SBU assigns blame for destruction of world's largest aircraft. I can't remember the numbers of that thing. AN-274? 240? I don't remember. Big plane. Big plane. Very popular in the flight simulator right now. There's a ton of people that was just released not real long ago. Bunch of people have been buying it and flying it around. Anyway. EU has almost exhausted options to punish Russia, says Burrell. Spice cake is... Oh, you did probably answer. Can natively support wireless also and has the resolution of the headset. Will hit your hard the closer it gets to 4K. I think Quest 2 or the 3 coming out this year would be fine. Okay. Well, I probably won't be able to do a 3 because I'm, be happy to have a 2. But, okay, that's good. I didn't know because I know that the Quest works differently. I know that when the data comes from your computer to the Quest, that the Quest has to reprocess it all anyway, even though your video card already did it once. So that's why I was asking that. I didn't know if that would give like the G2 the reverb an advantage because it didn't have to be reprocessed. I didn't know if that would make a difference. So, okay, I know what you mean. Okay, I follow you now. Okay, yeah. Cool deal. Then Quest 2 would probably be what it is. I can't wait, man. I just absolutely can't wait. I get so frustrated with this stupid head tracking solution, and I call it solution very loosely, that I use because it constantly loses the track, and that's almost crazy when you're trying to do stupid stuff. Anyway. And Track IR would fix that for the most part, but Track IR is not the same as VR. I know, exciting topic. Let's see. Some sober thinking left in Ukraine, says Kremlin. Baltic State PM compares Russian strikes in Ukraine to Red Army in World War II. A Wolf of Wall Street financier sentenced for embezzlement. Banking rout rattles global markets. Canadian judge gives middle finger the thumbs up. Okay then. Saudi Arabia and Iran to restore ties in China brokered deal. Still on Friday's news. Scandal plagued U.S. congressman accused of masterminding fraud scheme. That's a normal day. Disney to what? Disney to pare back on Star Wars and Marvel. Okay then. Macron's wife, transgender lawsuit thrown out. Turkey blocks transit of sanctioned goods to Russia, says media. Yikes, my neck. U.S. pushes for chip production with India. U.S. military academies experiencing spike in sexual assaults, says AP. Russia issues latest report on U.S.-funded biolabs in Ukraine. Apple workers in India will work longer hours, says Financial Times. Weapons needed to strengthen Kiev's negotiating position, says Sunak. A Hamburg mass shooter identified. That happened to be, that happened to be a previous member. Pardon me. You don't recall me discussing that. That was a previous member of the Jehovah's Witness organization. Obviously disgruntled previous member. But it's really strange. And like I kind of said to pay heed to when that article came out and I talked about it, how they initially said multiple shooters, multiple suspects, and how it usually always winds up going down to the lone wolf or one person. Well, not only did that happen, as we're so used to seeing, but it went from a situation that it seemed to be that wasn't under control. They didn't know where the people were. From what I recall when it happened, and then now all of a sudden, it was only one person and they took their own life. Seems like we've heard that story a few times. So, I don't know. I just thought it was weird that it changed that much. We usually hear the multiple people in the beginning and then it told one person, but the added aspect of not knowing where they were to, they shot themselves. Kind of a little bit of a far stretch. MEP blasts West's criminal approach to Ukraine. Ukraine moves to seize historic monastery. Lavrov likens protest in ex-Soviet state to 2014 Kiev coup. Meta confirms decentralized Twitter competitor in the works. EU nation arrests politician for traveling to Russia. What a criminal. Russia should lose, but not too badly, says a U.S. congressman. Suspect detained following hours-long hostage situation in Germany. Fentanyl is American problem, says Mexican president. Kosovo wants to start NATO-Serbia war, says Belgrade. So if it's like, by the way, let's back up one. If this is just an American problem, then can we deal with it with American solutions? So that means we can just start bombing the hell out of the border now? 24/7 carpet bombing of the border, is that cool? Because that's how the U.S. typically deals with things. We just bomb them. Okay. Kosovo wants to start NATO-Serbia war, says Belgrade. I think I read that. U.S. worsening Syria's we are to yesterday's news. Yay! That means sip of coffee because it's in the contract, even though I'm almost out. What the contract does not contain is my own personal barista to go get me another cup. So I tried. It wasn't within the budget. Anyway. Nicotine, however, was. Democrat corn, and I don't care. I have to do it every time, man. I think you were on MSFS for like 4 hours today. Finally learned how to add You're on there, brother? Dude. How do I find you? What's like, I don't know, your Xbox gamer tag? I don't know any of this crap. I know I can bring it up right the hell now. I can push like Alt-Z and it pops up. And oh, wait, no, wrong thing. Not the Alt-Z. Not the Alt-Z. How the hell do I get that one up? Oh, yeah, that's right. See, I don't know this stuff. I don't know this stuff because I don't game. What is it? Windows G. Yay, Windows G. And I know I can like put you there somewhere. I know you guys can't see this, but how do I find you? Tell me. I'll add you right now. It says search or add players. I need your name. Just let me know when you get a chance. I'm just messing with you. But yeah, I'll add you, man. I'd love to go flying with you. Oh, hell, he's got it right there. Roman. Let me do that. Highlight, damn it. It's the Russians. I know it. The Russians are interfering with my highlight commands. Because, now what was that again? Windows G. Yeah, G. Okay. Paste and search for dude. Hey, there's dude. And you got like 1 follower, man. Wow, that's sad. You only got 1 follower. Okay, now does it show that name in the sim for you? Are you Roman? You know, I'm not going to say your whole thing. Oh, well, you already did. Are you that in the sim? Does it say that, like, as your name? Telling you, I'm not a gamer. I just do play sim. Anyway, we have got to fly, dude. I love flying. Alright, let's see. By the way, if you didn't know, I'm sim gaming, so I think that's what it is. Isn't it is? Isn't it is? Something? I don't know. Yeah, sim gaming. Wanted to make sure. Okay, out of coffee. I gotta barrel through this, because otherwise gonna have to start getting all upset and throwing stuff because I'm out of coffee. See? It's important. Personal baristas. Right on, brother. Alright, well, we'll figure it out. I did whatever to click to add you on the Xbox social thing, and so I guess you'll probably have to click something to say, okay, I know that schmuck. And then we'll go from there. Once you do that, I know that once you do that and get to that step and we're friends, then once you're my friend, then I can click on you in the sim. If you're spawned in somewhere, I can actually click on you anywhere in the sim and spawn in where you're at. So it's all good. Anyway, let's cover yesterday's headlines. A U.S. worsening Syria's humanitarian disaster, says China. A U.S. Congress greenlights COVID origins report. Poland sees rise in food theft. Yuan share soars in Russian foreign trade, says central bank. Kiev considers renaming Russia. What are you going to name it? A major U.S. tech bank implodes. Of course, we've talked about that. China appoints new premier. Russia accuses U.S. of double standards in the Balkans. U.S. ally to ban Russian steel and aluminum imports. Pentagon seeks billions to replace depleted munitions, says Bloomberg. UK asks Olympic sponsors to pressure IOC, says media. Job cuts skyrocket across the U.S., says a report. Russia now among India's top five trading partners. China could outmaneuver U.S. without firing a shot, says a retired general. U.S. spy agency names frontrunner in hypersonic weapons race. Elon Musk demands release of QAnon shaman. U.S. to tighten chip export curbs against China, says Bloomberg. Let's see. Ex-Russian president suggests new name for Ukraine. NASA warns of possible Valentine's Day asteroid strike. And I forget what year, but it's not like tomorrow. German president concerned about Israeli judicial reform. German railway nixes free transport of Ukrainian aid, says Der Spiegel. North Korea practices for real combat. EU state bans TikTok from government devices. Economist warns of U.S. financial crisis. Man seeking absolution tries to break into Lenin's tomb, says media. Over $250 billion swindled from U.S. pandemic fund, says report. China condemns Japan's nuclear waste plans. Etsy warns sellers of delay in processing payments due to Silicon Valley, that I was mentioning earlier. College removes misleading Malcolm X quote decades after demand. White House denies approving controversial Alaska oil project. More than 1,600 migrants brought to Italy in one night. Pope Francis speaks out on gender ideology. Russian patriarch issues plea over Ukrainian plan to seize historic Orthodox monastery. Corsicans vow to resist Paris restriction on language. And we are to today's headlines. Oh, I'm out of coffee. Damn it. Okay, well, I got to get some nicotine then. You got to have one vice at least, you know? Give them all to me. I'm always getting huffed. It's like normalcy around here. Hi, fun times. I'm kind of interested to see how tomorrow shakes out. Okay. EU country will force firms to hire more women in top positions. Covered that. Swiss bankers fear exodus of Chinese wealth, says Financial Times. New Chinese defense minister under Russia-linked U.S. sanctions. French Senate passes controversial pension reform. Hey, Jimmy, do you use Assbook at all? I mean, Facebook. Yeah, same thing. Because you can hit me up on there, like when you're getting ready to go fly or something like that. It's a good way to contact me. I don't know if you can ding-dong me. I guess you could probably ding-dong me anytime you want. No, I mean, you could probably ding-dong me on, because I think that Xbox thing stays open on my computer. So you might be able to, like, ding-dong me with that, and it might let me know. It'll probably give me a Windows notification or something. I don't know. But either way, or if you do the Book of Ass, then let me know, and I'll give you my profile. Which is really easy, because it's like the same thing as my gamer tag, which is, facebook.com/simgameit. So, anyway. Let's see. New Chinese defense minister under Russia-linked U.S. sanctions. French Senate passes controversial pension reform. EU country boosts Russian LNG imports. Israel strikes targets in Syria, says media. Saudi oil giant posts monster profits. Historic white men statues, I feel so targeted, may be destroyed in the UK, says the Telegraph. I am absolutely offended by that, but nobody cares. India and China competing for Russian crude, says media. Czechs protest price rises and Ukraine military aid. Covered that. Biden official gives rare praise to China. You know, they used to have this cool ritual that they would do involving tar and feathers, but I'm just saying. British PM upgrades private pool heating amid energy crisis, says Guardian. Iran arrests more than 100 people over suspected schoolgirl poisonings. I thought that was kind of insane. Ukraine won't get Western jets anytime soon, says Foreign Minister. Elon Musk's plans for SpaceX utopia revealed, says Wall Street Journal. U.S.-Ukraine relationship cracking apart, says Politico. Kiev's top diplomat slams German pacifists. German minister lied to advance career, says media. Hatred of Putin makes Washington do dumb things, says Seymour Hersh. I would concur. U.S. returns ancient weapons to Ukraine. Ukrainians give neo-Nazi facelift to signpost in Antarctica. Pardon me. U.S. is sitting still amid growing China-Russia influence, says Bolton. I read that headline earlier, and I'm like, what do you want us to do? I mean, I'm sure many of you know Bolton is a massive war hawk, and you probably don't want to know the answer to that question. Abolitionist monument replaces embattled Columbus statue. You're on Facebook. Okay. Okay, that'll work, brother. That'll work. Let's see. China. Oh, I covered that one. And that one. Georgian PM accuses Ukraine of stirring unrest. Hollywood stars push for Biden to drop Harris, says media. And Florida governor warns rivals there's a new sheriff in town. Okay, it didn't have an effect on me either, but I tried. I tried. Anyway. I would say keep your eyes and ears open tomorrow. I don't know anything other than that to tell you other than keep doing. If you've been getting ready, if you've been prepping, just keep at it. Just keep at it. Whatever you can. I got to looking before let me pull this up off screen here, and then I'll pull it up on screen here. I wanted to show you something. Oh, that's not what I want. Wow, that's cheap though. I'm going to show you that too. Hang on. Let me pull that. Wow, I didn't see those. I did not see those before. Okay, 1 second. Let me pull the others up. They'll be down here at the bottom. Guaranteed. Here we go. Here. Oh, they're back down again. Wow. Well, that was much different than earlier, but the weight's also back too. Bear with me, folks. I got one more to get open here, and I will show you. Okay, so as you all know, I had recently made a video, and I wanted to point out these because, I mean, you don't have to wait. Like, if I ordered right now, I'd get that tomorrow. 7 pounds potato shreds. $46.24 right now as it stands. Now, Amazon makes it easy for you because you can just look right here and see what you're paying per ounce. So that's roughly 41 cents per ounce that you're paying for the 7-pound deal. Now, when it is in the number 10 cans, when it's on a good deal like right now for $8.78 a can, you're looking at 38 cents an ounce. So you're saving 3 cents an ounce, right, to be able to buy this. But you're going to be waiting until mid-April to get the product, okay? So you can get the 7 pounds at 41 cents an ounce that you can get tomorrow, or you've got the number 10 cans that you'll be waiting until mid-April just to save 3 cents an ounce. So you have to determine whether or not how much you need it, how quickly you need it, whatever. But I just ran into this, and I hadn't seen this before, and I should have even looked. But the potato slices, you can get how many pounds? Yeah, I didn't look at that. Hang on. Oh, well, yeah, okay. There's only 4 pounds. So there's only 4 pounds of potato slices for $36.18. I'm going to be real honest there. I think I would probably have to give that a hard pass. I think I'd probably have to give the slices, the 4-pound bucket, a hard pass for that price. When you can get 7 pounds of the shreds for, $10 more? Yeah, for $10 more. Yeah, I think this is the better deal. What's that say per, $9.05 per pound. Hang on. That would be 32 cents roughly an ounce. So, roughly 32 cents an ounce. So, I don't know. Maybe that ain't so horrible, really. So that's what you have to do. You have to break down the numbers and take a look at it and see what your deals are and go from there. But regardless, please keep putting stuff back. Don't know when things are going to get stupid, but I'm pretty positive they're going to get stupid. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I will talk to you all later. I appreciate you coming. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow night. We'll do it again. So I hope to see you then. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.